dobry, nazywam się Kamil Śmiałkowski i poprowadzę dzisiaj spotkanie z moim Kajmanem, naszym gościem.
Rok 1602, czyli 8 jest takich. Jeszcze i tej noc, właśnie skończyłem i ten noc, czyli kolejne 7. Czyli mniej więcej jakieś 20 parę komiksów przez 4 lata. To nie jest takie całkiem źle. Jeszcze biorąc pod uwagę, że przez ten czas napisałem 2 książki, sporo scenariuszy i kilka innych rzeczy. No i oczywiście cały czas prowadzę blog. Także nie budzę się rano z poczuciem winy, że nie oddaję komiksom, to znaczy dużo uwagi.
I mean, if you're asking would I like to write more comics, yes, I would. But I'd also like to write more novels. And I'd like to read more. And I'd quite like to do some more gardening. And none of these things are going to happen as long as we have these ridiculous 7-day weeks and 12-month years. So I run as fast as I can. You must never, ever, under any circumstances, ask writers where we get our ideas.
Ja przetłumaczę, bo widzę, że i tak wszyscy zrozumieli, ale może ktoś że to jest najgorsze pytanie, jakie można zadać autorowi. Jego nigdy, ale to nigdy nie wolno zadawać, bo to jest... To nie pyta się o takie rzeczy, skąd się biorą pomysły.
This is for a number of reasons, one of which is we will make fun of you.
Jest kilka powodów. Po pierwsze, będziemy się z ciebie śmiali, no i będziemy robić do ciebie.
And also because we don't know. Which is why we become very defensive and make fun of you. My friend Harlan Ellison tells people he buys them in a little ideas shop. I personally sometimes tell people who ask me that I'm actually a member of the Idea of the Month Club, and each month they send me a new idea. But this is not true. I love the character of John Constantine. There's a story that I wrote when I was teaching myself to write comics. The very first story I ever wrote was a John Constantine story called The Day My Pad Went Mad, which was written when he was still a minor character in American Gothic, and by Alan Moore. And I loved the character then, and still do. I don't know that I would ever go back and write another John Constantine story unless I could write one as good as Hold Me. They did actually come to me and ask if I'd be interested in coming up with a story or something for the second John Constantine movie, and I said I wouldn't. So I declined to get involved in that because I just thought it was too far from the things that I loved about the character. But I do love the character, and I can certainly imagine myself going back. He's one of those characters who you only have to give him a straight line, and then you just have to be quiet and listen, and he comes up with the best lines on his own, and you just write them down. And every single jar I can go into. I can do all those things, and I can do radio, and I can do poems, and I can do things that we haven't figured out yet.
What do you like most?
Craig Russell has spent the last 18 months doing an adaptation of Coraline, which is absolutely beautiful and very, very disturbing. I'm glad I didn't write that. I'm glad I wrote the prose book, but I love his graphic novel. And he's now talking to DC Comics about, I was talking to Craig when he finished Coraline about what he wanted to do, and he said, you know what I really want to do is I want to do Dream Hunters, the book you did with Amano as a comic. When I read it all those years ago, I saw it in my head as a comic. And I said, well, it's been 10 years since Dream Hunters came out. If you wanted to do that, go for it. So that may happen.
Rysunkami Dagmary Matuszek. Poznałeś się z nią i skończyło się albumem. Czy mógłbyś teraz po powrocie do Polski opowiedzieć, jak to było?
Oh, it was great. It was just one of those nice coincidences of walking around the art thing in Krakow and seeing the pictures on the wall and just absolutely loving these pencil drawings of Dagmar's and meeting her afterwards and just saying, would you like to do something together? And she sent me an email just listing all the things she would like to draw, which was the kind of email that if you're an author, you love to get. Because she said, well, she'd like a little girl in a deserted city as a Christmas present. And now she's done the Hill House, the American publisher, the small press, who do really beautiful books, have got her to design and illustrate the special edition of Nancy Boys, and it's going to be published here. Actually, it's actually going to be printed here in Poland, and that should be out in America, I think, in about a month or so. And the stuff I've seen from it is gorgeous. So I'm just really lucky that I met Dagmar and that we hit it off and that I liked her work, because now I get the most beautiful edition of the Nancy Boys ever out of that.